Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Leached On, a podcast where I'm leached onto a certain topic for 15 minutes or more. Now, I think ever since I found out that I can, record on my phone and it be, a lot better than my camera quality, I've really enjoyed that. But it is currently 12:42 a.m. and it is April 22nd. I don't know when this episode may come out, but, kind of just want to have a late night talk. I'm off of an energy drink and I, have school tomorrow after spring break, so it's almost like, oh, Priscilla, what are you doing making a video? And I just, I felt an intuition. I felt pushed to do this, so please apologize if I have any quick stutters or anything like that. I think what really pushed me to make this episode today is how to pick yourself up when shit hits you in the gut. Today was a bit of a rough day. I seen pictures that I really didn't want to see, but I told myself I needed to see them. I needed to see them to be able to kind of get my own closure, because in reality, nobody can give you closure. I've talked about this on multiple episodes before. You have to get your own closure. I can text the people that I want closure from right now and almost beg them for closure, ask them for a why, a who, a this and a that, but it's not going to change my own healing process, because maybe I'm not satisfied with their answer. Then what? Then why did I talk to them? Maybe they don't even reply to me and I stupid. Then why'd I even reach out? So sometimes in reality, you have to give yourself your own closure. And this can be from topics such as, being abused. And, I was very physically mistreated in one of my previous relationships. And I realized that the biggest closure I had to do for myself was let that person know that I forgave them. And as emotional as it was to let that go and not only be able to tell myself that, hey, it's okay that, someone that you love really dearly and honestly is smaller in size than you did such damage physically, that's okay. And I already kind of had that closure within myself, but I also had so many distractions that when time came that I sat down and was able to think about it, I realized that I pushed it so far to the side that I didn't even give myself any closure. And then at that time when it came that I needed it or I wanted it, I had to give it to myself. And, sometimes with enough time passed, you can catch up with certain people. Sometimes there's a mutually agreed time where, there's no harm in catching up. Maybe the catching up doesn't even get far. It's just like hey, heard you were doing good. That's great. I'm happy for you. And, honestly, the best way to pick up yourself also when you're in a rough pit and seeing things that you don't want to see or being exposed to things you don't want to see is honestly a almost positive mindset, but also fake it till you make it. I think that is the most influential mindsets that one can have. Don't let people know that you care. You don't owe it to anybody to show that their actions leave a response on you. And I think that was one of the biggest things I had to face in one of my previous relationships. And I know I can talk about relationships all day long, but honestly, again, like my previous episode, these are lessons I've learned from interaction with others, and then I can go on to teach and talk about it here with you guys. And I had realized that I was really quick to be not defensive, but just reactive. I was really quick it was really easy for you to get a response out of me. And honestly, that's not fair to myself. More time that you get to spend with yourself, you get to realize what's fair to you and what isn't. And letting people irk your gears and your nerves so easily isn't fair to you. It has your nervous system on a constant exercise, that it's constantly moving and working itself, that you wear yourself out. And you don't deserve that. You don't deserve to wear yourself out because other people want to fuck with you. Whether that's post shit that'll piss you off, say things about you that'll piss you off, do things that'll piss you off. Let people be them. God has given them the free will to do whatever they want, just as you have free will to do whatever you want. Hypothetically, I can go to a cafeteria table with people I don't know and stand on it and do a dance. Nobody's stopping me from doing that. I possibly could get some looks and maybe get in trouble by school for causing havoc, but besides that, I'm not breaking the law or killing anybody or lying or hurting anybody. I have that free will to do what I want. Now, obviously, I don't really want to do that, so I don't need to exercise that portion of my free will, but when it comes to other things that you can exercise in your free will are things like giving yourself closure and deleting things off your phone that you don't want to see. It's your cellular device. You don't owe no one a response. I mean, I'm really quick to block, and there's no shame in my game. If I do not associate with you, I will not want to see your stuff. I mean, some people will take it personal, and as much time passed, I mean, I remember there was one time, me and this person weren't really getting along, and I had unfollowed them. I didn't block them, but I did unfollow them, and I removed them as a follower. Obviously, I don't want to see your stuff. I don't want you to see my stuff. I don't need that negativity. And we caught up with time, and they were like, I realized you unfollowed me, right? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I had to do that for me. And, the wrong people will tell you that stuff like that is selfish. And I think when you can surround yourself around an environment, I mean, today, technically, since it's the first day back, I'm at school, my spring break's over, and I just have to say I've had the best spring break ever. I surrounded myself around people that made me feel good about myself, people that helped me heal, people that have helped me have fun. When you could sit down, another way to pick yourself up out of a rut is figure out what you really value. And you don't need to compete with others' values. I mean, you may value love. I mean, one of my top highest values is fun. I have to have fun. If I want a relationship, the person has to be fun. If I want a job, the job has to be fun. I have to be having fun in the things I do. I know what I bring to the table. I know I like to have fun, and I know that I want to be in places where I get to exercise that fun. I will not put myself in places or careers or be around people that I do not find myself fun around. And I think the hardest thing in learning lessons like this is how excruciating it is to see those environments become something that you didn't expect. Like, maybe not become what you want to value, but honestly the opposite. Like, people change. People change. And I think the most disappointing thing is when people don't change for the better. There are so many people from my past that they are doing side hustles or building families or getting settled down in relationships that they deserve. And I am just so proud of them that they were able to become a person that I may not be able to experience on a daily basis or interact with, but they are still someone who is awesome. And just because they're not in my life every day doesn't mean that I don't see them in that value anymore. But then on the other hand, there's some people that just had amazing potential. I mean, there's this one person I know who I met them when they were a year younger than me, and I was like, God, this person is going to get far in life. This person had a career that I never hear people want to become. And I saw so much potential in this kid. I was like, man, like, you are awesome. I am proud to call you my friend. I showed that person a bunch of my friends. I didn't get them popular, but I was like, hey, like, this person's awesome. You should get to know them. I mean, I got the blessing to get to know them. You should too. And man, they went down the wrong path. And you got to repeat to yourself things like, I can't change them. I can't fix them. Everyone has their own free will. They chose to exercise their free will in such a way that I don't want to interfere myself with. And when you can come to accept that, like I said earlier, letting go is such an irrational belief and motivation to get over things. You can't exactly let something go. Otherwise, you're kind of just ignoring the elephant in the room. Accepting is really what it is. And once I accepted, I couldn't fix people that chose to go down the wrong paths. There's nothing you can do about it. Every day of my life, I do end up stressing and mourning this non-existent version of themselves. But at a point, you got to realize you can't put yourself through that. There's nothing you could have done. And just because you wanted to do something but didn't get to, doesn't mean that, again, it doesn't mean that you didn't do it. It's just not your place. And the saddest thing is watching people do things their way and it not be your place. And again, it's where you become to accept, to be able to get out of ruts, you have to accept you can't control everything. And I would say I'm a bit of a control freak myself, not in the way that I control and manipulate others, but in the way, I like my room a certain way. I like a schedule and a routine and not being told what to do, but being put on the right path to figure out things myself. But I do have things in a certain way, and I'm not a my way or no way person, but I am a my way or what way person. And with that, I do like things, I understand things but they're a certain level more than others. And when it comes to things, I cannot wrap my head around on why somebody treated me like this, or why somebody's becoming this person that I don't even know, or I'm sure that the version that I met them wouldn't even be proud of who they become. And it's just, You can't control others but yourself. And it's one of the harshest truths. I think it's honestly one of the most gut-wrenching truths to know that you experienced a portion of your life with somebody that will never, ever be that version of them that you have met. It is so, so hurtful. It's honestly even mean. I would even venture out to say that is such a harsh thing to accept. And honestly, I wouldn't even go out to say it's irrational, because it's like, what do you mean this person that I knew doesn't exist anymore? And it's almost like you have to treat it, sorry, my nose is running. It's almost like you have to treat it like a bit of grief. You know, you're grieving this person who's alive, but the version of you that you knew of them is dead. It doesn't exist. And it's so much harder when you have to see them on a day-to-day basis. I mean, I used to not be able to understand that. And when I had friends like, oh my gosh, I have to see my ex-best friend all the time, it was like okay, but you really don't, like, distract yourself. But then it's like really being in those shoes, like, I have to see people who I've gone separate ways from every day. It's like, man, this is heavy. It's tough. It's tough. And I do believe that God gives the strongest challenges to those most brave to take upon it. And I think that if you realize yourself in a lot of ruts, realize that you're in them, those choices where you made those choices because you knew that a part of you could handle it. I mean, realistically, like, if we're really thinking logically about this, if you decided to wear the funkiest fit ever and be okay with leaving your house like that, you knew you were able to handle the heat. You knew you were able to handle if somebody came to your face and was like, you look ugly. You knew that you wouldn't have broken down and been like, oh my gosh, you're so right. No, you made that choice, and you knew the pros and cons and what could happen, what couldn't happen, that led you to still go follow through that choice. So, I mean, in reality, there have been times that, you know, on and off relationships are a good example of this. I mean, nobody told you to go back. You just did, whether you followed your heart or the odds were really in your favor when you went back. But nonetheless, you made that choice to go back. And a part of you knew that if you went back, there was a high chance it wouldn't have worked. But you didn't care. You didn't care, and you still went and took that gamble. You took that gamble to try again, put your heart on the line, hope and make and fight for it to be different, just for it to not. And you went through that because you knew you were brave enough to encounter it over and over and over and over again. You wonder, oh, why is this on and off feeling like, you know, I'm never going to be able to get over it? You are. You chose to let yourself repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until you knew, you know what? I need to heal from it. I need to be brave enough to step aside from this and take time for myself. And again, you don't really have to put this into relationships. I mean, that's the best thing I could talk out of my ass right now because it's 1 a.m. and that's what motivated me to talk about it. But, you know, it's going to suck. And I think with things like social media, being able to just see your ex posted up with a new boo and, you know, the new person touch them the same way you would have, or them touch the person that can cup your face the same way that you would have them, they would have you, you know, just do all the things that y'all would have done together if it had worked out. And it's one of those things that you realize you can only control yourself. Is it fair to let yourself break down and beat yourself up over a non-existent choice? That choice isn't here. You can't do anything to change the way to make that choice. Everything was done to be where you are now. And instead of being so miserable,